So hello, I said to myself I wasn't going to do this because I've got deadlines and it's going to be vlogged, well no, it's going to be vlogmas soon and I was going to try and vlog all throughout that. That's looking to be unlikely, but we'll see what happens. So first up, update, I got a new camera. It's really nice, really pretty, quality is really high. Problem is I don't have an SD card for it, so until that's sorted, not going to be able to use this, and it's a real shame because I was hoping to have better quality videos for you. Hopefully you'll notice the change in quality halfway through Vlogmas. We'll see if I can get an SD card during that, who knows. So, real reason we're here. I decided to watch Rocky Horror Let's Do the Time Warp again. And I'd watched the trailers and it looked terrible, but I went in with an open mind. I was willing to give it a chance. Now, a lot of you may not know, but I am a huge Rocky Horror fan. Love it. Die-hard fan. Know all the words to all the songs. Had a friend who I introduced to it, and now that's the basis of our friendship. Like, every time she would see me in school, she would just start singing lyrics from the musical. She told her boyfriend she wants a Rocky Horror themed wedding, all because I introduced her to it. One of the best experiences of my life was seeing this musical live with my mum, which sounds like quite a weird thing to do considering the whole musical's about sex, but I did it. We had a fantastic time. If you have the opportunity to see it live and it's like a high quality production, go see it. It will change you as a person. I came out just feeling so great about everything. I don't feel great about this production, I have to say. I take so many issues with it, and I know they tried. Like, it's quite a hard musical to do. It's a lot of things to get right, but they just didn't. Now, my first issue was the casting of Frankenfurter with Laverne Cox, who, as many of you will know, is from Orange is the New Black and is fantastic in that. Like, her performance is incredible, like, she's one of my favourite characters. Was not right to cast her in this part. She is trans, but she is not a transvestite. They are two different things. Transgender is a man who feels like they should be a woman, they should be in a woman's body, they feel like they are a woman, or they are a woman, they're just in a man's body. While transvestite is a man who likes to dress like a woman. Doesn't mean that they feel they are a woman, they do not associate their gender as being female, they still feel they are male, they just like wearing women's clothes, which is also okay. And the problem was, throughout the movie, they referred to Frankenfurter as master and as he, and as a transvestite. But she's not a transvestite. She's not a man. She is a woman. She has woman's body parts. She is as female as I am, as far as I'm concerned. And so, that to me, like, causes more confusion for people. They should not confuse transvestite and transgender. They are two things, two separate things. They should not meet. So, and as someone who is part of the trans community, I would have thought that the actress would have had an issue with this. I don't know, maybe I'm just like exaggerating it, but it just didn't seem right to me. And like, as good an actress as she was, it's impossible, like, it's very difficult to compete with Tim Curry. Tim Curry was very masculine in this role. Like, that's the whole point. The only way you can pull off this role is if you can be a man and be confident in being a man while wearing fishnets, corsets, very tight underwear. You have to have that confidence. And she had confidence, but it wasn't the same because she's a woman. I don't know if that's me. Almost sounds sexist, but that's just how this role is. My other issue was with the casting of Columbia, because Columbia's a very spunky character. You find her funny, she's quite passionate, she has an attitude. And this Columbia was just disinterested. She didn't care, she didn't want to be there. It felt like at one point Brad goes, they talk about going up to Frank's lab, and Brad says, well, Columbia turns around to Brad and says, this is a great honour for you to be invited up to Frank's laboratory. And Brad goes, for people like you, maybe. And she goes, I've been there. Now, the line in the original is quite cheeky. It's the same words, but the intonation is completely different. It's, I've been there. And it seems stupid, but it's different. It just makes a difference. I felt they were focusing too much on trying to make it cool, on trying to make it up to date, and like, I get the up to date part, but during the time warp, most of the time they weren't actually doing the time warp. They were doing a completely different dance. There was a lot going on. There was a band at one point. They had backing singers. It just didn't seem right. They had Frankenfurter come down on like a construction lift, a stage lift thing, instead of an actual elevator, which, why would anyone have that in their house? It doesn't make sense. They had a huge poster that said 41st Annual Transylvanian Get Together, which also doesn't make sense because you're not supposed to know what's going on straight away. And granted, if this was for fans who've already seen it, then they should still appreciate the integrity of the original. And my last major criticism was Tim Curry. I love Tim Curry. He will always have a special place in my heart. But he wasn't right for his role. He didn't have, like, I mean, you associate the voice with his part of Frankenfurter in the original so much that him playing the narrator just didn't work. He didn't have the right sort of investigative, relaxed tone. And I know he can do that, but for some reason in this he didn't. And they had this woman helping him out who just seemed to be like for comic relief, but she wasn't actually that funny. It was just a bit stupid. I just didn't like it. And I didn't make it to the end, I have to say, because it was so bad. There are some things that shouldn't be rebooted. There's a lot of things that shouldn't be rebooted, and this was not the way to reboot Rocky Horror. If anything, it was the worst way they could have done it. And I've heard people say it's not that bad, but when you watch the original in comparison, And if you've watched the original as many times as I have, which I can assure you is a lot of times, it's just incomparable. And I've seen other versions of Rocky Horror. I've seen different versions of Rocky Horror. Ones that are not as the same as the original, but it still wasn't as good. Like, even the play, like, that was incredible. And that stands up to the original. You can do a good version of Rocky Horror without it being the exact same as the original. The one I went to see had improv a lot through it, and they'd respond to things the audience said. And I mean, obviously you can't do that in a made-for-TV movie, but Fox ruined it. Absolutely ruined it. If you want to see a good version of Rocky Horror, and you haven't seen the original, watch the original. Maybe don't watch it with your parents, but watch the original. I have those songs on my Spotify playlist. I have friends who will sing it in their day-to-day life. It's good, and that's why they wanted to reboot it in the first place. Like, even Glee's version of this was better than Fox's. So please consider that if you decide to watch it. I mean, if you were gonna watch it, you would have watched it by now. I saw it on Now TV, but like, it was bad, man. It was so bad. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna try my best with Vlogmas. It's not gonna be very festive to start off with, I've got to say, because I've got a lot of deadlines. This is my last week of university, and then the next 2 weeks are hand-ins, so you're mostly gonna see me working towards that. I might take you into the workshop, see like what it's like. I might even show you what I'm working on for my hand-ins. But that's generally about it for the first couple of weeks. When I get home and back to my parents, I'm hoping it'll be a lot more festive, but stay tuned for that. That'll be starting in the next couple of days. So, thank you. Have fun. Subscribe. Watch the original Rocky Horror. Thank you, and goodbye.